Great. Okay, so I said I was gonna make this video like 3 months ago, but here it is. Welcome back to my channel where I forget what I'm gonna say. Whatever, you get the point. If you were here before and you're back, I appreciate you deeply because I really was supposed to make this video like 3 months ago. I announced it on Instagram. I had several people vote. I chose the vote. I locked that in. I announced that it would be coming soon and I didn't do it. But I've been really busy, so here's this video now. Seriously, I need to be more consistent. I know that. I'm really glad that I didn't go through with my whole... My hands look giant. What? My hair is bothering me. Okay, I tried that, but my hair was bothering me. My glasses are bothering me. I can't see right now. Okay, I can see a little bit. I can see like my face. I can see enough. Basically, I'm gonna tell you how I made 6K, a little over 6K, but I'm, title wise, from my side hustles, which also means my small businesses. So if you're not a small business person or you don't really care about having a business, this might not be the video for you. But you should stay anyways and just grab a snack and bear with me because it's gonna have a lot of important information, I think. I think it's important. I'm a little bit biased, but I don't know. Like I was saying, I'm really glad I didn't go crazy with my YouTube hyperfixation because when I get really interested in things and I want to do them full speed, it's full speed or nothing, by the way. I almost bought like a $3,000 camera, so. And then I didn't film for 3 months. That's not a good example on how to make 6K because this video does have saving in it, so if you're anti-saving, probably also not the video for you. But we're just gonna pass that. So yeah, this video is not sponsored by Dr. Pepper yet. So I'm gonna make timestamps for this video because we're gonna be talking about a lot. Some of it might be information that you need, some of it I'm overstimulated, it's so squeaky. Okay. No. Okay, so yeah. Oh! Sometimes you don't need to watch the whole video, I get it. It's okay. But I think you should stay. Oh, 6K, let's preface this 6K profit. A little over 6K, but profit, not revenue. Revenue was somewhere around, I want to say 8 grand, give or take, maybe a little more. But that's just I need a application. I don't want to. I don't need. Let me censor the word. That's what I'm gonna do because I haven't needed because I do this, not YouTube. Hopefully it picks up, but I mean the business. It's kept me afloat as much as I don't pay bills because I live with my mommy, but it's kept me afloat. But I have to open my Roth IRA because I am financially responsible and I'm an adult now. So I don't know if this is too much information. It's not, because it's not too much information for you to know that I'm financially responsible, and you should be too. So if you're 18 or older, but if you're 18, open your Roth and your high yield and get a credit card and then quit. Unless you can't quit, don't quit. Make your money, but quit. Okay, sorry, so just kind of a minor setback. I will get back to you. Okay, so this may be niche. So, I don't actually... Okay, so we're gonna wait for the plane to pass. I think it's doing circles around my... Okay. I don't actually know why I said niche. It may not be. Plenty of people have small businesses. I own and operate 2 small businesses by myself, so I learned everything from the ground up. I taught myself through asking other people about their experiences, adults, because I was 15 when I started my first one. YouTube. Social media and the internet just really is a great place to do it. It was kind of just, I wanted to learn how to crochet, so I got this like dinky little kit or whatever for Christmas in like 2022. Yep. Math, yeah. And then I learned how to make the little cat or whatever that came in the kit, which was absolutely atrocious. It was so ugly. I gave it to my papa, which is my grandpa, because he is obsessed with everything I do, and you know, D1 just fan supporter, and he wanted it. I think just because I made it and everybody was like, oh, like look, she crochets. It was so bad. I actually texted him. I might put a screenshot up of our conversation. I don't think I will, so ignore this. But I texted him and I asked him for pictures of it and like for what I was doing, and he sent me just great lighting, no distractions, no mess, a full-on photo shoot of this thing. And I'm gonna put pictures, I don't know where, but I will put the pictures that he sent me and you can see. But made worse things, people made better things. It wasn't great. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it wasn't great. And I'm sure that you can tell too, like the stitches aren't stitching. It's, I don't even know how I got the eyes in, but it probably was some unconventional way that I learned how to do. But whatever. I had that. And then I started learning like individual stitches one by one from YouTube and TikTok and all that. And then I like bought a pattern on Etsy, which I used to buy patterns a lot. I don't buy patterns anymore because, well, sometimes I do. I'll buy a pattern if it's like in support of one of my mutuals or like just someone starting their business or whatever, and it's like cool and I actually want it. And it's like a good, like hard worked on pattern or whatever. But for the most part, I don't buy patterns anymore because I can just make it. Like, I can just look at something and make it, which is a really good skill to have if you're trying to learn how to crochet or, you know, but the creative outlet of it was, like, a great thing. One of the patterns that I bought was this, like, Stitch plush and, like, Stitch and Angel plush, and then there was, like, a Scrump one or something. And I just remember being at, like, a birthday party or something, and one of my relatives, I was talking and, like, telling people about my new hobby, and one of them asked me to, like, if they could see my work. And so I showed her, and she was like, oh, can I buy it from you? And I was like, I can just make it for you, because, you know, I wasn't really trying to sell things, and I was very into my people-pleasing era, so I, like, didn't want to charge her for it, like, she's family, whatever. Yeah, but she just insisted that I charge her for them or she pay me or whatever to, like, support me, even though I didn't have a business yet. But I was like, okay, because you can only turn down money so many times. She insisted that she pay, and then I undersold myself, as I still struggle with a little bit, but which is, honestly, we could probably have been at 10K if I really charged what things were worth, but maybe not, because in this economy, like, nobody has money for that. She ordered like a Stitch plush and then a Scrump plush. I charged like $25 each for them, which honestly didn't even cover the cost of materials. Probably like $25 did, and then maybe the stuffing too, I don't even know. It barely covered the cost of materials, and it definitely didn't cover like the even minimum wage for the several hours that I spent making them and putting their little body parts together. But it was fine because I was gonna charge her anyway, so I didn't really care. $50 is like, wow, like, as a 15-year-old. Once I made that first like sale, best believe I got a journal and I started keeping my books, and then I was hooked, and then I was like, okay, I need to make a business. And then I did, because I've always been really like business oriented, I guess you could say. I used to try to start little businesses with my cousin when I was like 6. She was like 5 or 6. And then up, obviously, through ages up until like 15. We used to try to start like so many different like jewelry businesses and like baking. It was just so much. And she doesn't exactly have like the same mentality, I guess, on things like that. She gets discouraged really easily, so we never really did anything with them. And also we were children, so like how far could we really go, you know? But it wasn't giving like lemonade stand hustle. It was giving like we had a vision and then it died a lot of times. I did start this, and then I taught myself how to market, ship, list, like garner traffic for the most part, bookkeeping. So like the general bookkeeping. Once I got into college, I learned accounting, which I love accounting. It's my favorite subject. Helped me a lot because it's one of the things that I couldn't teach myself, or I didn't even know that I needed to teach myself. But I, like, first day there, I learned how to do an Excel sheet, and then I never went back to class, but I obviously finished it. I just did it online. Fast forward to now, I'm going to show you, like, some of my recent makes. Somewhere up here, we'll just put the pictures all over my face, maybe a little bit neater, I'm not sure. And then, you know, quick plug, my Instagram is here, and it will also be linked in my bio, so if you want to buy any of those things that I just showed you, or maybe custom commission me for something, you can DM me on there, and then we can get into that. I don't have an Etsy, and we'll talk about that later with like finance and stuff, but it's just like too much of an investment. They take a ridiculous amount of like, I just realized my camera's like crooked as hell. Okay, they take like a ridiculous amount of fees, seller fees out, and then like taxes, and then like all this promotional fees. It's ridiculous, so I just don't use it. But I'm looking at making a website once I'm more like consistent with it. I don't do this a lot. Like I said, it's a side hustle. I'm a full-time student. I'm an actor, so I spend a lot of time doing that. I also have a reselling business, and before the reselling police comes for me, just wait. I don't do it often, and I'm not one of those that like sells a $2 Shein top on Depop for $70. I don't do that, so it's fine. It's fine. I also don't scalp the thrift stores, okay? I get things that I think are cool, and I like, for the most part, like if they're damaged or something, because I know how to sew and crochet and like upcycle, I'll either upcycle them or I'll just fix them and then sell them for reasonable prices. So I've been doing that one for a little less than a year. It's not my favorite. I liked it more when I first started out, but then like I came to realize that it's a lot of work. And so is the fiber art small business. They're both a lot of work, but to have two is a lot of work, and also it's different work. So like it's similar in terms of like packaging and production, and but then you have and like bookkeeping, but then you have like inventory checks, and you have to like make sure that everything, you know, it's just, I don't love the spot checking for everything. It's really boring and time consuming. But if you're looking for something that requires less, oh my god, that requires less like skill, I guess you could say, than something like fiber arts related, I would get into reselling personally. And I can do separate videos on these things, like dedicated to how to run these businesses, because I don't really have a means for gatekeeping them, and I can't really like do it for you, but I can tell you how I did it for myself. I've had so many people tell me like if I start putting that information out or whatever, because it's so much and so much to unpack, like to do those little courses. And no, I hate when a bitch tries to sell me a course. I hate it so much. It's so annoying. It's so, I can't. I hate it. There's a little bit more creative liberty when you're doing something like crocheting, but if you want something a little bit more doable, you can get into reselling. Next thing I would say, and I guess it's just like a piece of advice or whatever, but find something that you love. So whether you're gonna start a business or you just want a little side hustle that's like not necessarily a business, like you don't have like a trademark, you don't have licensing, anything, you don't sell on anything necessarily, you just like kind of go about it. Or if you're just trying to get a hobby that sometimes you make money from, and or you're just trying to get a hobby that you're like passionate about and you don't make money from, which as someone who's very money oriented, I don't really see I definitely have hobbies that I don't make money from, but I don't have any hobbies that I didn't think about the possibilities of making money for. Like, my beautiful PlayStation here could just be a Twitch streamer. I could just be a gaming YouTuber and make, okay, I need to dust, make the billions of dollars that little kids playing Minecraft for hours and hours on end, like I do on my own time, make. Skating, you know, could be the next Tony Hawk and have millions of sponsorships. Books, which I really liked reading when I was in elementary school, and then kind of like was over it by middle school, and then a little bit in high school I started getting back into it, and now I love it again. I could be a booktuber or book talker or whatever. Savings and like all my financial things, YouTube, social media. I have a wall of Chucky and horror things over there, which I'm not going to show you now because I don't know what kind of audience I'm talking to, but collecting is also a way to do that. I play the guitar now. Lyrical musical genius. Like, you know, like I just, every time I do something, sewing, crocheting, like every time I think about something or I have a hobby, like the thought of money comes into my head. And I don't always execute it. Obviously, you don't see me playing video games and streaming and showing you my collections, which, actually, no, I have done that before, but not, like, extensively. Or, like, playing guitar for everybody, which, if you want to, I will. Just find something you love, and I know that that's harder for some people than others because you're, like, really distracted by life, which sucks and is really hard. I tried to get into whittling. I wasn't immediately great at it, so I stopped doing it. I will return to it eventually. But as far as social media, I've never been so mad in my life. I literally just recorded like 10 minutes of a section of me talking about social media and accounting, both topics. And it just like stopped recording, and then I vanished, ceased to exist. It didn't save, it didn't like get sent anywhere, it didn't like tell me like do you want to continue, no, nothing. It's just gone. So yay. Social media is hell. No, I meant it. Social media is hell. I want to be a content creator as far as YouTube, and I am a content creator as far as TikTok and Instagram and all that, but it doesn't make it any easier. Like, it's definitely easy to post, like to post, not necessarily to get content to post, but to post, it's simple enough. But to promote and market for a business, a small business, let alone, oh my god. You'll never convince me that it's the easiest part of running a business. It's not. My least favorite part for sure. And I can thank TikTok and Instagram for my sales and successes as far as that, because I don't sell on any other platform besides like eBay and Depop and all that, but I don't really sell my crochet makes on there. I sell like the reselling on there. So the sales that I have made were from social media, because Etsy just takes too much from their people. They have like seller's fees, it's like 15%, and then they take like weird taxes, and they take like the promotional fees, and they take like the listing fee, and then you're left with like 30% of your sale. So I'm not into that, and I don't want to do it. I was trying to see if this would make the lighting any less tragic, and it didn't. Like, get the right hashtags, you have to build your audience, you have to build your platform, which is really hard to do unless you have sponsorships and like a bunch of people looking out for your thing and like pushing it out. So I would say my most important thing is not to be afraid to recycle clips. I was like allergic to reusing clips, which is not a good idea because it made it really hard for me to be consistent and like have more things to post. If you record something that you made or like that you're doing, or you know, anything to promote your business or your hustle or whatever, use it so many times, because unless the people are following you, and even then your followers don't see everything you post unless they're like watching for it, they're not going to see it every time. So I would worry less about people being annoyed and like not wanting to watch your stuff, because not everything's getting put out like that, and it just makes it so hard to have to make new content like every day or every week or however, whatever your schedule is. As far as accounting, I love bookkeeping. It's really helpful, and just learn it. Just do it. I can make a separate video on that, on how to like make Excel spreadsheets or how I keep my books. Okay, I know you saw that Sebastian Stan sticker, and we're going to get into that in a second. I keep both digital books and paper. So I would say do both if you can, but if not, I have some options. So paper obviously is pretty self-explanatory. You get a notebook or two for the different businesses, side hustles, whatever, and then I'll show you my structure in a second. Or you can do digital, which is like Excel, which I recommend, or if you're not really into Excel or not like wanting to learn, I would do Notion, which might honestly be a little bit harder. I just remember it was a pain in the when I did it, because it's like, I'll put like the little logo here, and then I'll try to put the App Store link in the description or something. But it's like an app design kind of thing. So you make a spreadsheet, but you have to like make all the formulas and functions for it in the app for like whichever thing you want. If you want it to calculate things for you, or you just want to like budget and you want the little like circle of completion or whatever. But it can be used for a lot of things, so I would recommend trying to learn it. You can just look up like a YouTube tutorial or something. That's what I did. It's a lot, because you have to design it yourself and like put all the functions in manually, I think sometimes they have like templates, but they're not always like so easy to navigate. Excel is really simple, I think, in comparison. All the things that I enjoy, and this is really old. This is obviously from when I was my sophomore year in high school. I'm not gonna show you the actual like pages, because they do have my customers' names on them, and I'm not trying to blast these people, even though some of them are in my reviews, but these are like full like government names, so we don't need to be putting that all over YouTube. We'll put like the little structure that I have or whatever. So I have like the sale number, and then the item, so how many items it was, and then I put sold, and then just what I sold, so the item or items, and then who I sold it to, how much I sold it for, and the date that I sold it on. It's pretty simple. It's not like that for Excel. For Excel, that's why I keep both. I don't keep the names, I don't keep the date, I don't keep any of that. I literally just keep my capital, my assets, my revenue, my expenses, a typical Excel spreadsheet formula. Savings. Oh my, so important. Keep a business capital, keep savings, keep your investments in your business capital and your savings account, and literally everything. Even if you don't have like a designated one, keep it separate from your checking, if you're trying to have like a successful business, I guess you could say. It's only if you're actually trying to run a business. If you just want to make some money and like fund your life, then you don't really care about like the business side of it, then just put it in your checking, because the cash is going to go quick, and it doesn't really matter if you have investments into your things or anything, because that's not what you're doing it for. But if you're trying to have a small business, I personally don't have my own account for the businesses plural, because it's just a lot, and I'm not too serious about it. It's just like, I'm like medium serious, I guess you could say. It's an established business, and I've have functions, I have investments, I have savings into it, but it's not like a corporation. I don't have an LLC even. So I just obviously have my checking account, I have my savings account, I have an additional savings for my credit card, but I also have a high yield savings account, which is for my personal, and then my checking account is for my personal checking. But I have the extra savings account, which you can have with like any bank account. and then I use that to like hold my business capital. So anything that I make as far as revenue goes into there, and this will all be shown to you from the bookkeeping that you will do in Excel and all that. So yeah, my revenue goes into that account. Expenses like shipping get taken out of that account. Material costs get taken out of that account. Anything that has to do with the business, it goes in and out and flows through that account and that account only. Some things are connected to my card, so my checking card, which is also why it's important to keep books and keep a record of all your finances and everything, because when things get charged to my card, like for example, I use Pirate Ship for shipping, and I have my card attached to it, or I have like a Cash App attached to it. So when I purchase a shipping label or something, it charges my checking, and then I have the receipt in my Excel sheet for expenses, and then I transfer from my business capital to my checking and like replenish it, so that way it's still coming out of that business account. I'm not missing anything, or I'm not like replacing numbers or getting anything mixed up, because at the end of the year I want to be able to pull all of that and calculate all of that as far as like my owner's equity and just all that. Cash flows. Somebody's home. Hold on. No, somebody left, and I'm a little bit confused. Whatever. Save. I can't stress this enough. If you don't, you can take out of your owner's equity. Obviously, it's called owner's withdrawal. Don't do it that much unless you have like an excess. I mean, you can never have too much money, but unless you have enough to, unless you have enough to like keep you afloat, you have everything you need, have everything to keep all your operations going, try not to take money out of it. If that's what you're trying to do, is build a business, if it's literally to fund your life, by all means, do it, because that's the most important thing. But just save everything, because you need that money to invest in other things. Like for example, I have a little thermal printer right here, which saves me so much time of like going to the post office and like printing everything out and typing everything, or even from having a printer, which is really big and bulky like a regular printer, paying for ink, printing out the shipping label, cutting it out, taping it. Like I can literally just download the shipping label that I paid for, plug it into my computer, and it like so much time. It was like $80. That's not a lot when you think of, okay, it's subjective, but it's not a lot when you think about like some other investments, but it does work really well. I've had it for a couple years now, and that's what I'm saying. At the time it was a lot because I didn't have too much in my capital, and yeah, so it was a pretty big investment. Definitely worth it. You need to save to afford yourself the luxury of time cuts. That's like the biggest thing. The most important thing is your time when you're doing things like this, and just have fun with it. Like, it's so easy to get stressed out and caught up in trying to make things that people want. Once you've established like a high enough clientele, or just have enough in your capital that you don't need to cater to everybody and like undersell yourself and all the horrible stuff that most small business owners go through, you'll be good, and you can start making things you actually want to make, and then investing things you actually want to invest in, and like having fun and not having to spend too much time on it besides like the actual process, and enjoying that process. Here's the part you've all been waiting for, to look at my personal information. I'm just going to have like a little calculation up, and it's gonna be my crochet profit plus my reselling profit, because I don't want to screenshot really personal things. I feel like that's not safe or other people's information from my bookkeeping. I don't accept returns. I don't do refunds. I don't do any of that. Too much of my time gets taken out. I can't refund my time, and too many precautions get taken beforehand. Like, there's so many policies that are available for you to read, and I put a lot of like care and effort into my things. So if somebody ever were to have a problem with them, chances are it's not going to be my fault. And luckily I've never had an issue. Nobody's ever contacted me with an issue with an item or anything. We have had a couple issues with like the carriers, of them taking too long or them not shipping to the right place or something, but I put a PO box as far as the return address, and then I'd get it to them anyways. But as far as the product, we never had an issue with that. I'm gonna show you like the end calculation on my Notion app, somewhere over here, for my crochet business eBay impressions, so you can see like how many impressions I've had over like the past, I don't know, I forget the strand that they give me, but over the past couple days, months, whatever. Haven't been too active on it because again I need stock and it's like my lowest priority in terms of business, but it's still a little bit up there because I've had a few sales. That's how I did it. Okay, I'm pretty tired of using the tripod, but my hands are really shaky, so this was a bad idea. Long story short, that's how I did it. I wasn't too consistent about it. It wasn't my whole priority. I was still a full-time college student. I still have a life. I have hobbies, even the ones that don't make me money. I have lots of other things I love to do. It's possible. Just work at it. I don't have like a huge following, obviously, like on YouTube either, but I still get sales, so you don't need to have millions or even thousands of followers to make money. Just make sure you're being safe. Watch out for like scams, you know, all that. Be really strict in your policies and your boundaries. Make sure that if you're selling not through a website that you have policies, because people will try to get free stuff out of you. People will try to like manipulate you. If you can, try to sell yourself correctly from the get-go. I know that's really difficult. I know that it's hard to like determine how much you should sell your things for, but it's really just cost of materials and then the hours that it took you. So try to time yourself. I don't really time myself that much because I don't think it's fair. I eat food and run around and bother my mom and watch YouTube and Netflix literally the whole time I'm crocheting, so I don't count for my time specifically, like in terms of timing it, because I'm always distracted doing something. But just like guess, I guess you could say, if you can't time yourself and you're not being like on top of it, just guess pretty much, and then it's that, and then like minimum wage, and then like a little off the top for shipping unless you're charging shipping. Comment down below any videos you want to see in the future for anything, and I will try to accommodate you guys the best that I can. Thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, I'm gonna give you a treat and show you the sleeping baby on my bed. Hold up. This is your treat. I don't know, it's really dark. This is your treat for staying this long. Is this child exploitation? It's fine. Okay, she's drooling and that's really gross. Yeah, so I will post as soon as possible. I don't know when, but I'm gonna try to get a schedule going. Make sure to follow my Instagram and my TikTok, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. And yeah, bye.